Interest. Yes, Vijay, you have completed.
Yeah, I have completed, and Chandra, I have completed. Yeah.
Okay. Some of you raised the hand. Vasavi Lata raised the hand. Is it completed or any questions, Vasavi?
No, it is completed.
Good. And who else have completed? Okay. This is my Jenkins server. Any questions? I see some discussions are happening. Is it in this WhatsApp group or some other batch? Discussions regarding errors. So, any questions you would like to ask? Some of you facing an error. Is it Rashmi? What is that error? If you are available, we can talk about that. What is this error? Execution goal fail. Java-mvn plugin unable to load the Moses R. Same error we discussed. Yeah, Java issue. Java issue. Install Java 8 like JDK should be installed, not JRE, Java Development Kit needed to execute that plugin. Am I audible for all of you?
Yes,
Natarajan says I'm not audible. Please check your from your end. Everyone can hear me. Okay, so let us begin. Any more questions, anything else you have, you can ask me at the end. Now coming back. So we have created 3 jobs, right? They are individual, independent jobs. What if you want to connect them? What if you want to connect those jobs? Like this is my compile job, test job, package job. Okay, they are individual and independent. Like like each job is happening as an independent job. If you go here, compile, unit test, package. Okay, now what I want is whenever compile is executed, it should be triggering unit test. Unit test should be triggering package job, right? And and also whenever there's a code commit, I want this to be triggered. Means we know how to do this, right? You may add poll SCM, but the best
Preeti,
method.
are you able to hear me?
Yes. Am I audible? Hello.
Preeti, I'm not able to hear you.
Everyone.
You are audible, Preeti, to us. Maybe problem from his end.
Mic.
Speakers, please check your speakers. Can someone message in the group that you can hear him? I mean, you can hear me, sorry. He's not in this meeting. It says it's not. Just please WhatsApp someone, put the message in the group that everyone can hear me and he can check from his end. Okay, so yeah, we can add poll SCM here, or else we can add some webhooks. Okay, so yeah, we can add poll SCM or else we can add webhooks for the first one. Then, but how can whenever compile trigger this one? So here we'll be using another 2 sections of the job. Every job has got these sections like triggers and post build actions. Trigger is you can set for once this job is done under post build of, okay, let me put this way. Every job has got these configurations, right? Every job will have these sections: triggers, post build. If you remember, we have used post build for report generation. Similarly, now for every job, for compile, I'll add trigger as policy. For post build of compile, you can use post build to generate the reports, to archive the artifact. You can use them to trigger the next job, which is unit test. Okay, then what next? So for unit test, who will trigger it? Compile will trigger it. Okay, then what is the post build? The next job, which is package. For package, the trigger will be unit test. Means triggers can be another job also. Here, as of now, no post build, because that completes the job. That completes the pipeline. So using these two sections, we will build this pipeline. Got it, everyone? Right? So we will configure them. Means if you notice, for any job, if you take any job, the job before it becomes a trigger, job next to it becomes a post build. This is another way of triggering a job. Understood this? Now we'll go on configure these two parts for every job. First job, you may put POL, or webhook, and that's how it goes on. Is this logic clear? Using this simple logic, we can connect, and this is the basic way of doing the pipeline. Are we good?
Yes, it's clear.
Yeah.
Let us apply the same. And let us apply this. Let's go to the first job, compile. Configure. I just want to add here. Yeah, I would like to add POL, or a webhook, but for now I'll build this first job manually, so no trigger. Post build. Okay, here see, like we have used it for report generation, you may say use it for email notification, or you may use it for building other projects. So projects to build, what projects it has to build. Let's suppose the next one, it has to trigger ASC. This is how you can choose the next job. And you can decide whether you want to trigger it if it is stable only. Means if this compiled is stable, then only. Unstable means it may be depending on the reports as well. Okay, you may put some limits on the reporting. Like job generates a report, depending on the results in the report you want to proceed, you can choose it, or else trigger even if the build fails. You can choose those different options here. I'm choosing if it is stable. And if you refresh, you can see here it in the downstream projects. Okay, unit test is a downstream to compile. If you go to unit test, okay, again, upstream means job before it. Okay, configure. This is unit test. For unit test, what is the trigger? Who will start this? Understood? Compile job is a trigger. And post build. Build other project. We already have one post build action. You can have multiple post build actions. Yeah, here it is added. Okay, package. One post build is to report generation, one post build is to trigger the next job. If you refresh, upstream means job before it, downstream means job next to it. Are we good?
Yeah.
And post build other projects. Job before it is unit test. And the post build is, oh, sorry, do we have any post build as of now? Maybe later on, as we continue, we have only trigger, right? So trigger is unit test. Understood this, everyone? Yeah. So only upstream, no downstream as of now. Deploy jobs will be added later. And if you go to unit test, yes, job before it, job next to it. If you go to compile, no upstream, because that's the first job, can be triggered via POL, then downstream. Good. Any questions? Understood? Now, if you trigger first job, the tail should follow. Let me build this manually. And now here you can see it in the executor status. Okay, then comes unit test in queue. Right, unit test is here in queue. Do you see that? It is in queue. And then as unit test executes, all of them are happening. If you notice, automatically, see, package is in queue. In few seconds, it will be started. Yeah, package, right? So that's how it goes. So if you go to compile, yeah, here if you check the console output, it started by user because I started it manually. Okay, now go to unit test, console output. See, started by upstream project compile with a build number 2. That particular build started this, right? Similarly, if you go to package, console output, started by the job before it, unit test job with the build number 3 started this one. Got it? Understood?
How many build numbers we can have? Any number of build?
Any number. Any number until unless you customize those things.
Preeti, ma'am.
Hmm? Yeah.
It's just as a Java-based project, so we can uh, proceed with MVN. Suppose we have a PHP-based person, how is possible to how we make an trigger and how we can just implement that pipeline?
Any project is irrespective of whether your code is Java or PHP. Are we depending anything here with Java code? Yeah. Your code
Yeah,
base
we
is...
are depending on Java-based because the backend is
No,
package.
no, that's
Test is
not the
running.
reason. Java, Jenkins is Java application. It doesn't mean it's Java. Okay, here you may have this repository can have PHP code, Java code, Python code, whatever it is. Right? Only this build tool differs, your goal differs. That's all. The pipelines, the triggering, all of that is same whether it is your code is whatever be the code in this repository. Is that your question?
Yeah.
So how is it depending on it? The pipelines, the connectivity, the build numbers is irrespective of your code. What changes is this one changes. Your build automation tool changes, your goal changes. Like because if it is MAV this is how goals are, it might be something else. For some of the codes, you don't need build. Those differs. Your build thing changes, but nothing else.
Okay.
Okay, and also anyway, we will be working with PHP DB microservice application as well in the course.
Okay.
Any more queries? So yeah, pipeline is created, everything is happening, but it's not a good visualization, right? Seeing this way at the back end. So what you can do is you can go here, choose the pipeline view, but I'm not seeing that option, but I want to have a pipeline view. How can we do that? How is that possible to have a pipeline view?
You have to create that pipeline stages.
Pipeline stages already created, right? I just need a new view. I need a new view,
Okay.
some functionality, go for plugins, go for available plugins, build pipeline plugin. Say build a pipeline plugin. Install this. This is how you install any plugins later on required, if required. Initially, default ones are installed later on at any point of time, depending on your requirement. If you need anything else, this is how you do. Okay, now, yeah, here now if you see the new view, let's say DevOps view, some name. And here there were descriptions you can add. And the important thing is initial job. Because if you select the initial job from your jobs, the tail follows because we already connected them. And how many runs you want to see. Let's say I want to see 2 last runs. See? And you can trigger overall from here. If you click on run, the entire pipeline should trigger. Maybe some bug is there. This is not working. Let me trigger here. See, the ones in the running will be, is it executed? 1 minute. Let me start here. Okay, it started actually. Okay, see the ones in pending will be in green. Okay, once it is executing, it turns yellow. Once it is successful, it turns green. If it fails, it turns red. This is the pipeline view. This is what we were talking about from our day one, right? Now it can make more sense, correct? Interesting, isn't it? This is your pipeline. See the ones when it is executing, it turns yellow and then to green and then red if it fails. So see here, third run, second run, third run. Last 2 runs it was showing. Let's suppose I make it 1 more run. It will be like 3/4 will be shown in some time. Last 2 runs I have selected. You may choose 10 runs as well. This is your CI part. We keep on adding the jobs like after package, you may add deploy job, test jobs, and so on, so many. Any questions? All good. Okay. So, these are the jobs we have created. Now, before going to deploy, I would like to show you one more thing here. Till now, we were executing the jobs. All the jobs are being executed on the same Jenkins server. Agree? This is happening on Jenkins server. This also on Jenkins server. This one as well. Do you think this is how it works in the real projects? Every job executes on the same Jenkins server,
No, man.
right? There'll be build servers, test servers means you should delegate these jobs to remote machines like compilation, some build server, server 1, test server, server 2, some package server, server 3, right? So you always run a job on a remote machine, a separate server. That's a best practice. And those machines, remote machines, are called as slaves or nodes or agents, whatever you call. You may call them as Jenkins slaves, Jenkins agents, Jenkins nodes. That's where actual job happens. And the server where Jenkins is running is called Jenkins master. It's a master slave concept. That's a Jenkins master. So the best practice is you don't run anything on master. Master will be a dedicated server where you will run this UI. All the delegation, actual run happens on the slave nodes. That's the actual concept. Why? Why is it so? To share the load, one reason. Okay, Jenkins should be a dedicated server with a UI. Jenkins should be up and running always. So you have a separate server which is called Jenkins master or Jenkins server. Second reason is, let's suppose your Jenkins server, in my case is it's a Linux EC2 instance. But I may want to test them on some Windows. I may want to do testing on Windows server. So how do you have a different environment? That is another reason, right? You have a separate environment for it. So to share the load and to have a separate environment, right? You have this master slave concept. This is nothing but master slave concept or master slave architecture or remote builds, whatever you call it. And your slave machine's operating system could be anything irrespective of your master's operating system. Jenkins works on multiple OS. You may also have Jenkins master on Windows. You still can have some Windows slaves, Linux slaves possible, right? Your master could be Linux, again your slaves could be Linux or Windows, anything is possible. So that is the basic concept. Now what we'll do, we'll create one slave machine and we'll run the job on that slave. That's where you will see remote builds or distributed architecture or master slave concept, whatever you call it. Good to go? Or any questions before we go into the hands-on? Okay, so let us go on. First, let's get another EC2 instance ready. Okay, which would be acting as a Jenkins slave. So I'm launching some instance. Jenkins slave. Jenkins AMI. Let's choose Amazon Linux too. AWS key. Okay.
Can we use multiple keys for the same multiple instance, madam? Same key for multiple
You
instance.
can use the same key for any number of instances.
Okay.
Okay, launching it. So this is my slave. Let's connect to this machine as well. Okay, let it come up. Meanwhile, this is our machine, Jenkins server. This is for master. This is Jenkins master. Okay, let me open another tab. You may use Mobex term, which will be good if it is Windows. Mobex term with multiple tabs will be great.
Yeah, Kumar, tell.
So this is Jenkins master. For Jenkins slave, to just distinguish and help you understand which is what, I'm just see, please keep muted everyone.
Now, I told each and every server we need to validate and communicate.
Sorry, please come again. Are you talking to me?
No, I think there's somebody in another call by mistake there.
Okay. Edit. Edit background color. This is our slave. Okay. This is for slave. This is the Jenkins master. Okay, now open an SSH connection. We discussed the concept, right? You generate an SSH key pair here and keep the private key, copy the public key to this machine to whatever you want to connect, right? So let us do that and make sure you are doing with the same user. You may use root user also, but root user will not be always having root user privileges. So let us do it with some other user. For that, I'm creating user called user1. Set the password for user1. Password is also user1. Okay. Now, I have created this user. This user should have permissions to run the commands on the slave, right? So put this users in the sudoverse file. Etc sudoverse. Okay. Yeah. User1. User1. See, this is like user1 can run all the commands without prompting for password. So I can put here no password. So that user1 can run all the commands without prompting for password. That's the meaning of it. Okay. Right? So add the sudoverse file. And then, yeah, once you add it to the sudoverse file, restart SHD, systemctl, restart SHD. Okay, SHD is a default daemon. SH will be by default on all the machines. Okay, that's a like SH package. So yeah, I have created a user, added that user in the sudoers file. That user should be there on the slave machine also, I told you, right? So let us do the same, create the same user here as well. password user1, retype the password, done. Okay, now here also, here we have to do one more thing on the slave machine. We are using SH. I told you it's a two types, key based and password based. So which type of authentication we are using and what did we discuss? Which one should be used? Key based. Key-based authentication is the one we should use. So we are using key-based only, but still, for the first time of connection, you need to have password-based. For the first time you need. Later on, you need not use it. Okay, but that's not secure, right? So listen carefully, okay? All the cloud instances, means particularly for cloud providers, for all of those EC2 or cloud instances, they have disabled this password authentication completely. They have disabled it. But you need it for the first time of opening the connection. Later on, you can disable it. So because we need to connect, we are connecting for the first time, I'm going to enable it. How do you enable it? All those configurations are present in HC. SH is a package I told you, right? Which will be present by default. Like you see pop, HTTPD conf and all those configurations. This is the config file for SHD. Password-based authentication is disabled here. I am going to enable it for the first time because we need to connect it. So even though you use key-based, you still need this password-based, which you need to authenticate. Which you need to enable. See here, password authentication is commented. This hash is commented, means it's not used. So I'm commenting this one, password authentication to no, and remove the comment. Remove the comment means, yeah, now it is password authentication is yes. You have to do it once. Later on, after opening connection, you can disable it. You can again put it back. Okay, this is one more thing you do. And as we did some changes to SHD, restart SHD. That's all. Done. All the pre-conditions met. Now, let's generate a key pair as user one. So on master, this is master, switch to user one. How do you switch to user one? How do you switch to any user? What is the command?
Sudo su.
To any regular user, su-user1.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now generate a key pair. When you generate a key pair, if you recollect the concepts, it will generate a public key and private key. Where are they stored? They are stored in a hidden folder called .sh. You don't have it. When you generate a key pair, it will be created. So let's generate a key pair. This is the command sh keygen. This will generate a key pair in a folder called .ssh. See, earlier there is no sh folder. Do you see? No file, no folder. But now it's been creating an ID RSA is the private key. That's what it was asking. Shall we save? See, generating public private RSA key pair. RSA is algorithm used to generate the keys. This is what we discussed in the beginning, right? So I just want to keep it as default. I don't want any password, passphrase. So done. Now if you see hidden folders, yes, sh is there. Key pair is generated. Yeah. Do you see this is the private key? This is the public key. Got it all of you how to generate a key pair? Are we good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you switch to the user, which whatever you want to generate the key pair and generate this key pair. Okay. Now you generated the key pair. Copy the public key to the remote machine. How do you copy it? SSH copy ID minus I as user one at the rate IP address of the machine. So this is the slave machine. So should I use private IP or public IP? And what is private IP used for? When is public IP used for? What does it indicate?
Private is for internal communication. Public is
Sorry?
one way. Private is for internal communication.
Yeah. Means
Public is one way.
yeah. See, when your EC2 instance have to communicate internally, private. Public, if you want to communicate from outside, like if you want to connect from your terminal, from your putty, from your Windows browser, it's your laptop which is outside AWS, so public. But now we need to connect to the like internally master to slave. So use private IP. And private IP will be fixed. Public IP keep on changing whenever you restart your machine. So yeah, copying that. It is asking for confirmation. Yes. Do you see it's asking for password? I told you, right? Even though it's SSH based connection, for the first time it goes with a password authentication only, password based only. Okay, so you give the password here. What is the password? I have set the same user one as
You
well.
use- Okay.
Means for the first time you need password base. That's why I have enabled password. Now that connection is done, next time onwards, how do you SSH? Simply SSH user@76 is the IP address of this machine. I'll get this machine. See, do you see the prompt? Now this is a slave machine. I can run any commands like Jenkins is not there. I can run Git is not there. It's a new machine, right? Jenkins will not be there on the slaves. Jenkins will be installed only on the master. See, I got connected to my slave. Now I can run any commands, copy anything onto the slave. This is how you can open an SSH connection. You're connecting to remote machine. You can do anything here. Are we good? Any questions? Confusions?
You told this is master, right? That one is slave machine.
Correct. Prompt changed. See, 76 from means from master, I got SH into this machine. 76 machine. This is master. If I do exit, I'm back on master. 113 is the IP address of the master, wherein I have Jenkins Git installed. See, Jenkins installed, Git is there. Okay, but if I want to just SH again, simply SH user1 at the right IP address of your slave. Now I'm on slave. I don't have Git here. I don't have Jenkins here. Understood? Means from master, I could SH into slave.
Oh,
Now I can run any commands. I may install Git, I may create some files. I can do anything on the slave from master. From master, I have SSH into slave.
okay. So, Priti, is it not possible through Jenkins to create master and slave nodes?
Jenkins to create master and slave. What is Jenkins master first?
So,
See, Jenkins master is nothing but a server where Jenkins is installed. Right? Means a machine where Jenkins is installed. How can that like recheck your question, please? Jenkins can install Jenkins master. How can it? See, Jenkins is a CI tool, continuous integration server. It cannot automate creating you the instances. Once instance is there, it may use automatic tool installer to help you install the tools, but whole instance Jenkins will not create.
okay.
I think Terraform can create automatic install.
Huh?
I think Terraform can
Yeah, Terraform can create, Ansible can automate installing those packages. Yes,
Okay. So that means the installing, these are configuration related and infrastructure related.
correct. Correct. Yes. Terraform is infrastructure provisioning tool. You can use Terraform to create instances which can be act like your Jenkins slaves. You can configure it. Yes, we'll be doing it as we progress in the course.
Yeah, that means this manual activity be automated.
Yes. Any more queries? Okay, so okay, fine. SSH connection is done. How can we run a job there? Go to your Jenkins machine. Manage Jenkins. Nodes. Add, remove, control, monitor various nodes that Jenkins runs jobs on. You can manage them here. So new node. Let's say slave one. Any name. Permanent agent means those configurations will be saved. You can use whenever you need. some description, let's say EC2 Linux machine as a slave. Listen here carefully. Number of executors means whenever a build is happening, one executor will be allocated for it. Executors are like programs, or you can consider them like a CPU. Okay, one CPU allocated for run. So if you want to run multiple parallel builds, multiple jobs you can put those many number of executors. But that particular machine should support it. It should have those many CPUs. Here we are using T2.micro, which has one vCPU. So better you keep it one. But if you have bigger instances, yes, you can change it. And remote root directory. Remote root directory is some location which it can use like a workspace. Do you remember workspace? A directory will be created by the same name of the job where it will use, where it uses it for processing, right? So remote root directory is that particular path on remote machine. So like, let's say it's a Linux machine, I would like to use TMP folder as a workspace. Let's say this is my slave. Here, I would like to use something like TMP folder as a workspace. So I'm giving it some label. Label is very important. You will understand the importance of the label in some time. Label is like identifier to your slave machine. Okay, is these options clear till this part? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So then comes usage. Use this node as much as possible means any job will give first priority to run on this machine. I don't want it. What I want is only build jobs with label expression. Means I would like to tie up a job with the label. That's why I told labels are important. Means I will decide, okay, package should go on a machine with this label. Compile should go on to some other label and so on. So this is preferred. And then launch method. There are different methods you can use as a launch method. SH is more famous one. Host IP. Host here is slave. Slave's IP. Okay, then the credentials. It will be searching as user one, right? So add the credentials. Username and password type. Username is with what user we are connecting. So those user name and password and some ID like SH user. And if you want, you can add some description and add it. Okay. From here, you may choose. I have added it, right? 1 second. You should see that in the drop down. I think it is not added. Let me add again. User one. Password is user one. SH user is the name I'm giving as an ID. Add it. What it is saying, cannot selected credentials cannot be found. Okay, 1 minute. See, actually, you are adding them here means I'm saving it, okay? It is not yet completed, I'm just saving it. You add it here means they'll be stored in the credential store of Jenkins. What is this credential store? Where all the credentials can be stored here. Manage Jenkins. Yeah, it was stored as SH user. It is stored, but somehow it's not showing there. Let me try adding. It's already there. Let me try once again. Go to the slave. Configure means edit. Credential. Okay. Here I should select it. Okay, done. So they'll be added at the backend in the credential store when you click on and add it. And choose those credentials from the drop down. That's all. And key verification strategy, we already manually verified, right? So manually trusted key verification strategy. Manually provided key because it's all, it is asking for key pair. Known host file verification strategy also you can use. We'll choose this. Manually trusted. Okay, we have done that. Keep this node as much as possible. Keep it running, or else if you want, you can put a scheduler when the slave should be on. So save it first. Go to the nodes, slave. See, it's offline. So launch agent. It gives error saying that Java not found, Java 8 or Java 11. Like I told you, Java is necessary on the slave machine as well for the connectivity also, not only to run mvn jobs, it's required for connectivity as well. So let us install Java 8 here. Let me get the Java installation commands from the first document where we installed Java 8. You can also set as Java home. Let's see, profile. Sorry. Let's add the variables here, Java home. Export Java home. And the path, you can copy the path of your Java installation and place it here. I don't think this is the right path. We'll add it again. Export path variable. Okay, let me get the path. Alternatives. Let me give that path which I copied.
Ma'am, can you explain me that binge path? I didn't get that one. That
Okay. So path variable, you have to put the bin of Java. This is just the Java is JDK path / bin is there, right? That should be added here. So Java home means this one / bin. Okay, so / bin is the one you should give. When you do alternatives config, I'll show you again. You will see bin of Java. Bin of Java should be placed in the path. That's what is here. $path means path variable. If you see in Windows, there'll be so many paths we'll be giving, right? So appending, it keep on appending the path variables.
okay.
Let us save this. Yeah, see here, this is what you have to give. Okay, now for the updates to, like for the variables to get updated, let's see profile. Now if I do echo, I should see this. Yeah. Open JDK, this one. Also, you may echo the path variable to see how it is configured. See, that's how it is. It's appended with the existing path. All the path variables with the colon separation. Now, yeah, let us relaunch the agent. See, authentication successful, it said here, authentication successful, but then some unsupported class means Java version doesn't work. Recent version of Java. So it's asking us to install a better or a recent version of Java. Okay, let us do that. So Java 8 is not for connectivity, okay, for Jenkins, because our Jenkins is the latest version of Jenkins. So let me install some other version of JDK 11 maybe. Let me try out this. This one we installed on the master machine before. Yes. Alternatives config Java. We have set this in the path, and Java 11. Let me make it default. Now let us check. Run the slave. Launch the slave. Checking Java version. I think, yeah, agent successfully connected. Right? Good. Okay, fine. Agent is online. But how do you run the jobs? This is master node, this is slave. But how do you run the job? I'm showing you, for example, I'm running this compile on the slave, on that slave. How do you do? Go to configure. Under general, there is an option, restrict where this project can be run. Okay, so give this as Linux slave. Right? That's where label is helpful. Space. Okay. See, it identified, it matches one node. So compile would be going on the slave. Irrespective of anything else, means this pipeline, irrespective of where they're running, still the pipeline would remain same. Compile may be on server 1, this might be on server 2 and so on. For now, anyway, I'm running compile. When I run compile, automatically next jobs will trigger, but it should go on to slave. Let's see. It went there, but it failed. Let's see what happened. See, building remotely. Do you see that? And this is the workspace, because I have given TMP as a workspace. In the TMP, right, it might have created the workspace. See there? Yeah, workspace directory is created, same directory by the same name of the job. But why it failed? Git is not there. Right? Do you understand? It cannot clone it. Cloning remote repo. Git could not do Git in it. So install Git here. Okay. Yum install Git. Now let us run this again. Build it. Yeah. Running remotely, Git is installed. Also, do you see? Maven, it's installing with automatic tools. Why Maven is installed automatically and why not Git? Anyone? Why it is installing Maven, but why not Git?
Tools actually you configure, right, globally.
Correct. Tools we configured. Then I asked tool as a manual, Git as a manual installer. I did not choose install automatically. Java also it will not install automatically. But Maven, as I have chosen automatic installer, it's installing Maven and it is checking for Git and Maven, Git and Java for manually installed ones. Got the logic, everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, coming back to our job. See, irrespective of how it is running, it is executing other jobs as well. See, pipeline triggered because compile is attached with others. Right? But this is our interest for now. Check the full log. And yeah, cloning the repository here. Okay, this is TMP tools, MVN compile. TMP, inside the TMP, workspace is there. Okay, first let me show you compile output. Under target, like how it would happen on any machine. Classes, subfolders, utilities, dot class file generated, right? And again, if you go to TMP, see tools directory. And Hudson, this is all on slave. Like it happened on master, it was using this Maven. Because Maven we have chosen as global automatic tool installer, where other tools we have chosen manual installer. You have to install manually or change those tool settings. Right? So job executed on the slave, finally. And the pipeline also got executed. After this, unit test might have been triggered. See? Upstream project compile triggered it, but this is on master only. If it is master, it will show built-in node in workspace here. But this is bad. You put everything on some different slaves or the same slaves also fine. How to put, you know, go to compile. Here is how you Any questions? Anything should I repeat? Anything else is missing? Are you able to connect the dots?
Preeta, are you, in the real time, are we using this kind of slave and node master model or?
Concept is same. Okay, the same concept is being used, but everything will be from Jenkins file. That's for the next class. Tomorrow we will do that. But the concept is same. You should know this before you create Jenkins file. We will do the same in real projects as well with the Jenkins file.
In real time, we see that dev environment, staging, and prod environments. All three are three different environments, right?
Mm.
So in each environment, are they going to use this kind
We'll
of?
be having a separate pipeline for each environment,
Yes, yeah.
right? Or else a pipeline, same pipeline, which will first deploy it onto dev. Then after approvals, it will go for the next one and so on.
Okay. The concept is same, right? Using this kind.
Concept is same. Your environment's infra differs, okay, like from project to project, company to company. But this is the whole concept. You should know this first to check into any other. This is the basic way, but we will turn up into the advanced way using Jenkins. Any more questions from anyone? All good for everyone?
We'll go
Have to
through
go through, yeah.
and let us.
You understood here, right? Definitely you
Yes,
have to
yes,
go
we
through and do the
understand.
hands-on, but you understood whatever we discussed. First step is if you understand, yeah, then you have to do hands-on, then you will have again another set of questions. So for now, if you are fine, yeah, that's a pipeline. But then, okay, we are having our pipeline or having 3 jobs and we delegated them to slaves. But what if you have 10 jobs? 20 jobs, custom configurations, then even this becomes tedious, right? Writing 10 separate jobs, creating 20 separate jobs, connecting each of them with the build triggers, post build, it gets messed up, right? So the next advanced, tell me please. Okay, the next advanced part is pipeline as a core concept. Means we are creating from the UI, again, which is manual, which is going to be tedious when you have so many jobs. So what we will do, we will create a pipeline, okay? Like we will create a pipeline by writing some Jenkins file, something called Jenkins file. This file will create the entire pipeline and you will just create one job which will use this Jenkins file, and this Jenkins file in turn will create the entire file. That is the real concept or the advanced concept. But to do that, you should know actually what are all these masters, slaves, and all. Everything, whatever you do from the UI can be done from this Jenkins file. And Jenkins file is written in something called pipeline DSL, means pipeline domain specific language, which is Groovy based. It's not exact Groovy. You don't need to worry about, I don't know programming languages. Should I learn Groovy separately? It is like a template based. Okay, you have the format already defined. You have to use that format, which is derived from Groovy. It's not exact Groovy. It is like you can say the base is Groovy. Okay, you have the format templates available, and I'll show you how easily you can do that. Right? So that's what is a Jenkins file. That's the actual practice. Every pipeline will have this Jenkins file, which will trigger you with all these stages. That is going to be definitely very interesting and a far advanced concept. We shall take up this in the next class. But if you have any further questions anywhere, if you are missing the dots, connectivity, anything should I repeat, you can ask me. That's the agenda for tomorrow.
So pipeline derived scripting language, right? Am I right?
Huh?
But
Pipeline.
pipeline derived scripting language, DSL.
Pipeline DSL means pipeline domain specific language. Means let's say it's a separate language in which you write your Jenkins file. Okay, that is strictly speaking pipeline DSL. But generally people say that it's a Groovy script, Groovy file, Groovy code. But exactly speaking, it's not Groovy. It is, the base is Groovy, that's all. It's called pipeline DSL, a separate language although. It's like a scripting only. It's not any programming language, it's scripting where you have the, like I told you, it's a template driven. You don't need any prerequisites. Okay, you don't need to go and learn programming before you do it. Just be ready to learn. That's all we need. Shall I show you a sample one if you don't have any questions? Just a sample pipeline.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a sample one I'm showing. I don't want to overload you, but just a sample. Okay. Till now, we are creating freestyle projects, right? So many freestyle projects, but in reality, we never created. Then what do you create? Let's say, which type of project you will use? This one you will use. Pipeline type of project, which orchestrates long-running activities that can span multiple build agents. Okay, choose this one. Okay, you have to choose this. Put some description, like any job. It's a pipeline job. Here, see. Actually, we'll create Jenkins file later as a sample. We can also put the whole script here. Here is the template format. Let's say I need something like GitHub-mvn type. See, it shows you the format. Pipeline block. Ignore everything else, okay? Okay, this actually, it begins with a pipeline block. See, all the code will be in the pipeline. When you open a curly braces, you will have a closing matching curly brace. Can you see it now? I increase the font. Yeah. Agent any means on which agent you want to run. You want to run on any slave, which slave. Any means whichever is available. Okay. Tools, whatever automatic tools we were using, you define like this. Maven, and in our case, my Maven is the name, right? When the global tool configuration. That's all. So all that format is there. Okay, you put your tools, and my stage name is like, I would like to have the stage name as compile stage. Inside the step stage will be there where you can write Maven commands. I will again teach you tomorrow in detail just for your quick understanding. Goal. That's a command, right? That's all. These are all commands. That's all. First stage is ready. First stage means it's like first job. We'll talk about post build later. I'm removing. That's like a post build. That's all. One stage is ready. If you want more stages, you can repeat the stage blocks. Like test stage. Okay. Then what is the goal test? That's all. Okay. For now, I'll not write actual Maven commands. Let me write compiling the code. Okay. Here also. Running the test cases. Okay, so yeah, started by user admin, running on this, compiling, running the test cases. Do you see? Only one job. See, here you can see this view, compiled as, of course, it's not really compiling. We will add real steps tomorrow, but yeah, compile stage, test stage, pipeline here itself, you can see. And the output is like, console output is like started by user admin and on the master in this workspace, and it is printing whatever we have written. Yeah. Understood? That's a sample one. We will concentrate and discuss more on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, in this case, what exactly purpose of creating the slave nodes? Like you have the jobs, you are linking the jobs, right? And creating the pipeline stages. Is it only to reduce the load on Jenkins server? Do we need to have this or?
You are talking about this one, this pipeline as a code concept or the slave
Talking about
one?
that slave, we created the slave nodes, right?
Hmm.
So let's say when you create a pipeline script, different stages you are running it, right? Maven compile, Maven test, and our goal, right?
So you are talking about this pipeline.
Yeah, different jobs you are connecting, right? Each other in the pipeline script.
Mm.
So in this case, the how we can actually, why we need to go for that slave nodes? Is it only to purpose of reducing the load on single Jenkins server or what?
One is load, another one is different environments. My slave is Linux, my master is Linux. I may want to do something on Windows. Even you can have different slaves, right? Different environments.
Okay.
That is another main reason.
Hmm.
This also we can run on the remote machines. For now, I have shown you only on master. This compile can go to a separate slave. This can go to a separate slave. That is possible here also. We will do that. But instead of creating two separate jobs, only one job which has executed the entire pipeline. Like
Okay.
any other pipeline, you can build it any number of times. Second time, it will reduce the time as well. See, initially it took 337, then 172, and so on. Time reduced drastically. 2 runs it was showing. This is how we create pipelines in real practice. We never do this way. Like create freestyle and connect it. No. But to understand all of this, yes, you should know how it is happening. And that's the reason of doing all of that, whichever we have done till now. From now onwards, everything through Jenkins file. We have to enhance, make our Jenkins file better. Of course, it's not Jenkins file. We just added in the same repo. We will also put it on a Jenkins file. But got the whole concept, understood the concept, why you need a pipeline as a code and the script to execute.
Yes, understood. So, yeah.
Mm.
With respect to that webhook concept you explained, right?
Mm.
I have one doubt in that.
Mm.
In the payload URL, we are giving this Jenkins URL, right?
Mm.
And let's say we have multiple jobs, right?
Mm.
How actually, it will recognize which job it should execute. Let's say I have multiple, microservices. Every microservice has the repository in GitHub, right? So when I actually, connected, right? Let's say I have given this payload URL
Mm.
for a particular microservice, and I have a particular job in this, in
Mm.
Jenkins, okay, for that particular. How can we actually map each other?
Each microservice will be on a separate repository.
Yes.
So you are giving that repository URL here for a job. Compile job is having that repository, as well as here you are choosing webhook. So when webhook is triggered on this URL, it should send events to this URL and to the respective job there, whichever using that particular repository.
Okay. Yeah, I think it depends on this Git URL, right? Yeah.
Repositories.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, understood, Priti.
Yeah, fine. Any more questions?
Madam, can you explain me in a short this today's whole process? Like I lost a connection couple of times due to power loss. I feel like I am
And today we
short.
are executing jobs on remote machines. Okay, that's what we have seen. We have opened SSH connection with a separate EC2 instance. Okay, and connected to that EC2 instance and executed the job there. It's almost a 1.5 hour session. Explaining completely will not be possible. You watch the recording. Okay, you post the queries on where you missed it. Or if
Okay.
you have particular steps where you missed, I can help you. Whole thing means it's a which part?
Not in a short form, like 1 minute.
In short, what we did is till now we were running on the same machine, right? Like on the same Jenkins server, all the jobs. Yeah, so today what we did, we have started running a job on a remote machine. So for that, first we did SH to a machine and added that machine to run the job. That's one thing. Another thing is we connected these jobs in the beginning. Till yesterday, they were individual jobs, right?
Those
So
colors defines what mode.
color is like whichever on pending will be on blue. Okay, if it is executed and it is successful, it turns green. If it executed and it failed, if it will be red. And if it is in progress, it will be yellow.
Okay.
We connected these jobs and created this UI. I mean, this graphical representation of what we are talking about. These are the two things we did. Pipeline as a code will start tomorrow fresh.
Okay. Initially, you told like system is stable, unstable. What does that mean?
Okay, this job will trigger the next job, right? So how do you want to go for next job? Sometimes if this job fails also, do you want to run? Or only if it is stable, do you want to go for next step? So those are the options there. Stable means if this job is successful and the reports, in case if it is generating any reports, if the reports are fine, it means it's stable. So you can go for. Or the next option is you can continue even though it's not stable. Means there might be some stages like unit testing or something else or code reviews. You don't need to depend on those code review reports. That's for analysis and for to make the code better, but not to identify the potential bugs. So you may like at least for lower environments, you may want to continue with even the code review reports are showing some suggestions, warnings of how the code can be made better. So in those cases, you may still want to continue for the next stage as well, right?
Okay.
So yeah, that's where you can choose, even though it's unstable, you want to continue. So accordingly, you have those options.
Okay.
But some critical things, let's say compiling fail, you don't want to go for packaging, right? When compiling fail, obviously a good var file, you cannot get the proper var file. So you may want to terminate the pipeline there. So accordingly, you can choose whether you want to continue if it is stable, if you want to continue if it is even unstable, or if it is failed. So,
Priti, I have one question.
hmm.
It's showing the red mark, it is executed. Like what type of error can?
First it failed because Git is not there, right? So it's a fifth,
Yeah.
it failed. Sixth run it passed. So that's what it was showing, fifth run failed. If you want, you can go from here to the console. It will take time to load up here, or else go to the fifth build. If you remember, Git is not there, so it failed.
Yeah.
So all the runs it was showing. 2 runs, last 2 runs it's showing. So
In the slave node, but Git is compulsory to this one, no? The cloning for the
it
every.
depends on your job. Here my job is to run mvn compile, means it should get the code from GitHub and it should compile. So to get the code from GitHub, it should do git clone, right?
Yeah.
So logical. It's not a blindly like every job should have, I mean, every slave should have Git. It depends on your task. In general also, see on your machine, on your laptop, if you want to run some Java commands, Java should be installed. Simple. Same is the case on whatever be the machine, be it as a slave or be it a master or be it your laptop. If you want to do this mvn compile, obviously code should be there. Maybe you may create a code, then you don't need Git. You don't need to clone. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
So otherwise, if you want to get the code from GitHub, yeah, you need Git clone. Should be installed. You want to run Maven compile, Maven should be installed. Java should be there for Maven, so Java should be there.
Like you are giving like like overview how to connect on this. That's
Yeah. Any questions? Sorry, I missed something. Someone saying anything?
Yes, man, I lost it again connection. Okay, it's okay, man. I will watch this recording.
Vijay, please watch the recording. Okay, watch the
Okay.
recording, and wherever you miss, you note it down. Certain explanations, if possible, we'll do on WhatsApp. Otherwise, we'll discuss in the next class. But that shouldn't stop you from hands-on. Okay, you just follow the steps and do the hands-on. Explanation missing, we will do tomorrow, and you can get connected. That shouldn't stop you from doing hands-on for anyone. Because you have a question that shouldn't stop you from doing hands-on. Continue or your hands-on.
Okay,
And
man.
those questions can be resolved in the next class.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, then we will close here and we'll continue tomorrow. Good day. Thank you all. Bye, everyone.